Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the differences between ChatGPT, which is from OpenAI, and Bard AI, which is from Google. So this course is about Bard, and there are a lot of different large language models or LLMs in the form of chatbots. The OpenAI one, ChatGPT, and Bard being the two of the most popular ones right now. They're evolving, expanding, and lots of new competition, and there's lots of different companies. But I just want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between these two. By the way, if you want to learn more about the ChatGPT from OpenAI, I also have courses on that. So go ahead and check out my Udemy profile if that's something you are interested in. But on the surface, they both look very similar. They are chat interfaces, both OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Bard. You interact with them the same way. We do prompt engineering, and you're going to learn all about that in this course, so don't worry. But they do have the same look, but they do have, both of them have strengths and weaknesses. The main strength of Bard, there are two things actually. Number one, it is connected to the internet in real time, meaning that whenever you ask it questions, it can browse the internet in real time and get you answers. So you can find out what was in the news today. ChatGPT does not have that capability right now. They're experimenting with different features, there are plugins and all kinds of stuff they're trying to do, but it doesn't work as well. Google really has the upper hand. And so overall, Google is better on the part of real life access. That's what I found from my experience. And another superpower of Bard, the Google product, is that it is integrated with other Google products. And of course, only Google can do this. So within Bard, there are certain superpowers where you can export your things directly into Gmail, directly into Google Docs, directly into Google Sheets. And that's not possible with these other tools, obviously, because Google is using it within their own AI platform only. So that is another superpower of Bard. And ChatGPT has been around for a little bit longer, and they have the plugins there, which there's a whole plugin store where you can do a lot in there as well. And it's a really, really good model. So that's kind of within the specific features. As of the actual outcome, from my experience, Bard is better for real life research and summarization and taking stuff from the internet, and anything that's kind of real life or nonfiction, I would say, is better. In my experience, ChatGPT is a little bit better on the kind of creative fiction stuff. So if you ask it to make up a story and different characters and kind of run your imagination wild, OpenAI's model is a little bit better for that from my experience. Bard can do it, but in my experience, the results are a little bit better there. And Bard is fantastic on the kind of very practical of, summarization and writing and all kind of real world stuff. These are the main differences. Of course, both of them are great models, and I'm excited for you to dive deeper into Bard in this course. If you want to dive deeper into ChatGPT, I have another course for you on that as well. These are the main differences, and they both have limitations. And one of the biggest ones for ChatGPT is that it was trained on a set of data, and then the training of the data stopped. So there was a certain timeline cutoff where they no longer fed it any more data. And so it does not recall, more relevant stuff. It was something in the last couple of months or last year. It will not be within that model because the learning process has stopped, as opposed to the Bard keeps on learning and going every single day. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a very quick intro into the differences. You have chosen a great model. Bard is really cool, and we're going to dive very deep and do some really cool stuff with it that I can't wait to show you. If you're ready, let's dive in and go deeper into the Google Bard AI experiment. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this very exciting video where I am going to help you avoid the most common mistake. The simple reason why people usually get a poor response from Bard or any other model for that matter, whether it's ChatGPT or anything else. They get a poor response because they don't know how to properly do this one thing. And there's a lot of talk on prompt engineering, and we have an entire section on prompt engineering, which is great. And if you don't know what prompt engineering is, do not worry. We cover all of that. But people spend so much focus on prompt engineering, and there's a very, very simple solution on how to get the exact outcome that you want without having to do any fancy prompt engineering. So the most common complaint I get from people whenever they try to do something practical, for example, imagine that you want to write an Instagram description for your post, right? That is a perfect use case scenario for Bard. So you have an Instagram account, you put on a new picture, and maybe you don't want to have to write the entire description every time yourself. You can just simply pop it into Bard and then use that description from Bard to edit it and then to publish it that way. So what do? Most people just say, hey, I have an Instagram post about creativity, write a description. That is a horrible prompt, and you're going to get a horrible, boring, generic response. So let's start, and I'll show you exactly how to avoid that. And this is a very quick tutorial I'm excited to share with you. So I have my basic prompt written here. I'm going to paste it here. So let's walk through this prompt. You are the best social media manager in the world, and you'll help me write an engaging, fun, vulnerable, actually I'm going to change the vulnerable into informative Instagram description for a post. So we're telling Bard, imagine that you're a social media manager and you're going to write this amazing description for me. So the post is, post is for Peter Attia's account. So Peter Attia is a well-known doctor. He shares a lot of longevity insights. I'm just using him as an example because I follow him and he does great stuff. So Peter is an MD focused on longevity science, obsessed with all of these things. And I just simply copy pasted his Instagram bio here. So this is what he says on his bio. And Peter interviews people on his podcast. So that's the format. He does a podcast and then shares it on Instagram and then shares highlights on Instagram. And so here's the task. You'll write an Instagram post description for the latest podcast episode Peter did with Tim Ferriss. So notice that I didn't tell Bard what exactly is the episode about. It's going to make up some stuff because I told it who Peter is, and it might know from the internet search. It knows who Tim Ferriss is because he's a very well-known personality. And if you would just submit this, you will get an okay response, but not something amazing. So the simple hack, the tool that I use, what I tell everybody, what is the biggest mistake people that normally do, is this. All you have to do is now add an example of what you're looking for. This is so simple, but most people skip it. So over here, I'm going to add, here are 2 examples of Peter's post descriptions from previous podcast episodes. And here I pasted example number 1. It's exactly what Peter wrote on the post, and example number 2. So very similar format. And I'm going to hit enter. So this is the full prompt that we now entered. We gave it the task and the background information, the examples, and here we go. Podcast episode is up. In this episode, I'm joined by my friend, longevity researcher, Tim Ferriss. So Tim Ferriss is not a longevity researcher, he's a longevity fan, but that is okay. And we discuss how to live longer, healthier, more fulfilling lives. And we cover a range of topics, including importance of existence, diet, sleep, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on, link in bio. So you can see this is a very good starting point for a description. We could take this description and we could edit it and we could make it our own. And of course, Bart doesn't know the actual podcast episode, so he's making up a bunch of stuff, but that is okay. If we wanted to be more specific, we could give it actually like, oh, here's the things that we discussed in the episode. Give me that. Of course, we do have other drafts as well, so we can check out some of the other drafts and using a different format based on what I gave it in the past. So this is a much closer format to this, and there's another draft over here. So this is the simplest way that you can avoid getting a generic response. You want to get a response that's within the tone of voice that you are talking about. So already now, you know more than most people on how to get the best results. You want to use examples of the things that you want and then you can go through the 3 drafts and find which one best fits what you actually wrote. But these ones follow the examples and the format, and the other drafts are actually really good as well and much closer to this type of format. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a very, very quick introduction. I just wanted to give you a quick win here at the beginning so you can start learning, start applying what you learned, because anybody can do this. Now you can go, and this is the kind of quickest low-hanging fruit hack that I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoy this, and let's continue to dive deeper so you can become a true Bard master that you deserve to be after following through this course. I hope you enjoy. Before we dive into the actual course itself, I also wanted to give you an opportunity. I have a few other courses on Udemy, so if you're interested in learning more from me, and throughout this course, you'll learn my style, how I communicate, and if you enjoy what you learn, please go to my Udemy profile and check out some of the other courses. Also, I have a website, dariusmora.com, include the link in the resources of the section. And if you sign up on the website, I actually send out discount codes for all of my courses. So through the website, through the email, I can send you the lowest possible price that Udemy allows me to offer to my students. So if you sign up, you can get some discounts and do it that way. There are 2 other ways you can learn from me some more. Number 1, on YouTube, Darius Mora, I share my personal story and also a lot more tools and business advice and marketing and AI and all these really cool things I share over there as well. Shorter format videos, typical on YouTube, so feel free to go ahead, head out there. Again, link in the description. And finally, on Instagram, I post my journey, about what I learned, my productivity, my emotional health, and all the things that I'm going through, both on a business and personal side. So if you want to connect with me that way on a more personal side, feel free to go to Instagram, find Darius Mora Official, or go to the resources and I'll leave a link for you. I hope you enjoy. And now, no more talking. Let's dive into the real fun stuff of teaching you how to use Google Bard AI.